talk to Coach Autry.
All right, let's bring him in now.
Joining us. We can ask him all the things the chat's asking us.
All right. Red, it's good to see you. Happy New Year to you. We always like to start with the last game, and so let's start with Wake Forest. They got out on you, 16-point lead right out of the gate. You battle back, you take the lead in the second half, and then it's nip and tuck the rest of the way, and they pull it out. What was the difference in your mind on Tuesday?
I thought our turnovers, we had too many turnovers, and it's, started versus Maryland, which you knew the turnover number would be a little higher than normal, and then it kind of, when we went to the Bucknell after Christmas, the game after Christmas, we had an alarming amount of turnovers, and then it carried over into this game. I thought that was a difference. They got more opportunities. I thought our defense, for the most part, held up and gave us a chance to win. A couple of 50-50 balls that that didn't go our way, that they have to go our way. And I think they scored 8 points. And when you're scrapping and clawing, that's the difference. And I just, those are things that we talk about. The 50-50 game, the under out of bounds, side out of bounds, those little games within the game. We just didn't do a good job. But the biggest thing that stuck out to me was not our free throws, our turnovers, and then just some timely rebounds, which has happened for us, pretty much in every kind of big game this year against the Power Five, where these guys we don't get the rebound that we need to come up with, and it changes the complexion of the game, and we give up points that we shouldn't give up, and then typically those points are the margin that we lose by. And that's what I'm trying to get our guys to understand, that every play counts.
How do you get the team to come out and play aggressively to start, where you switched up your lineup there and you got more effort out of your team and you came back? But how do you get that from buzzer to buzzer the whole game?
I think every coach, that's the idea, and that's why you want to have depth. But again, every player is different. When you're subbing a lot of guys, certain guys have strengths, certain guys have weaknesses. So you're always trying to kind of balance those to try to get that same intensity for 40 minutes. Rarely does it happen, but you try to at least, that's what you're striving to do. Trying to push buttons, you're trying to combinations, trying to match up, people's strengths and weaknesses to get the team to flow and play better, to try to get that consistency.
We saw Kyle Cuff and Lucas Taylor, to Paulie's point, come off the bench and really make an impact in that first half, help spark the comeback. And then, we saw them start the second half and play a lot of minutes. What is it about those two guys in particular, Red, that you have liked, and why have they earned the extra minutes in your eyes?
Well, obviously, when you have guys that are kind of two-way guys, that always helps. When you look at the better teams in the country, they play both ends of the floor, and those two guys in particular, they've kind of stepped into their roles. They come in, they bring energy, they defend. They are good shooters. Are they our best shooters? No. But they play hard. They get after it. They're about the team. And when you are, especially now, when you're in a tough time trying to win games and squeeze out games, those are the guys that you're gonna go down with. Any coach, you can ask any coach in America. Those are the coaches. Those are the guys that you're gonna go down, and the guys that are just gonna go in there and that they're giving you they all.
Coach, the biggest name that comes up in our chat is Chris Bell. Is it just a matter of the fact that he went from being number 3 last year on most people's depth chart, probably, or even further down, to now with JJ out, probably being 1 or 2 on yours? And what can you do to get him to get more shots?
Yeah, I think what you just said is that's just the fact. He's on the top of the scouting report, and especially with JJ out. And so teams, he's getting the team's best defenders, him, Elijah, those guys, the perimeter guys. I think, our front court, I think people have, you kind of get to a point where, they're going to get theirs. Let's try to stop these other guys the other guys, the perimeter guys. And that's what they're getting. That's what they're faced with. I think, those guys in particular, I think they have to move more. We got to screen better for them. And I think they got to be ready whenever they catch the ball to be able to attack a closeout or to be able to get up a shot. They're not going to get clean looks. That's just what it is. Like, we can get some in transition. We got to do a better job of that. We haven't done a good job this year in transition of cashing in and getting some easier 3-point attempts. And so, I think it's a collective effort of us as a team screening better for those guys and trying to find them and look for them a little bit more. And then they have to do their job. They have to run. They got to move. They got to be movers. They can't get blown up over screens. They just got to constantly keep moving. And we got to do a better job of trying to find them. I think that's the only way, we can really, get those guys going.
Does Chris have to shoot the ball more? Like, how do you get a guy to maybe think what was a bad shot last year might be a good shot for him this year?
I think, most guys that shoot the ball as well as Chris and a lot of times those guys are always they're particular about their shots, like the type of shots that they take, and they want certain shots because they know the success of them. And I think Chris does have to get a little bit more uncomfortable and take a couple, even even if they're not the shots that he would like to get. I do think he has to be aggressive. I thought early on in the year he was putting it down and kind of getting to the basket. Obviously, the last couple of games the teams are a little bit better. Physical defenders. He's getting tall defenders. He's getting strong defenders. So I still think he has to kind of make an effort, not just him, but even Elijah, to try to put some pressure on the rim and move and get some rim twos and get fouled a little bit. I think that'll help as well.
Another popular topic on this show, Red, is, when is JJ coming back? I'm sure you've been asked the question many times. Can you kind of bring us up to date on his status, his progress? Where is he right now? Do you have a timeline for when we might see him back in uniform?
We still don't have a timeline. Very hopeful. I know, we're looking forward to getting him back, and I know he's anxious to get back. We just want to make sure that he's 100% healthy and 100% ready to go, fully healed. We don't want any more setbacks. And I think that's kind of, what we're waiting for right now. The word, he's doing some things, he's moving, so, he's getting close.
I know that this start, I guess, must be taking its toll on everybody involved, right? Players, coaches alike. Nobody wants to win more than you guys. Can you just speak to, I guess, where this team is mentally right now, the psyche of this team as you try to break through this slump?
I think our frustration. I think everyone's frustration again. With the record, like you said, and we've had a challenging schedule, and when we've played games, that I felt like we still should have won and could have won, and we didn't. But I think these guys are still coming to the gym. We got to keep. You can't. It's a whole season, and at the end of the day, it's so many teams that are in this situation or were in this situation that just stuck together and pulled through and kind of finished up and got to the ultimate goal. So again, that's what you talk about. And again, we're close. It doesn't make it feel any better. It's terrible to lose the way we've been losing. But it's one thing to lose the way we're losing, and you can kind of see where you can clean some things up that'll give you a better chance, as opposed to when you got no chance. And I think that's the one thing we've shown is that we can beat anybody on our schedule. Obviously we got to play a certain way and we got to play better. But even with all the mistakes and the turnovers, you're coming up short. 4 points, 5 points, or whatever the case may be. So that gives you a lot of hope that you can right this ship. And I think these guys understand that. It's a small margin between winning and losing, and right now we're coming up on the other end of it, and we got to get to the other side of this. Last year, we were on the other side of those last year. A lot of close games that we pulled out. This year, we haven't pulled those out yet. But that's what you talk about. And you just worry about getting better. You take it game by game. You can't get ahead of yourself. All right, and what's in the past is in the past. And like I tell our guys, turn out all the noise. Again, we know what we need to do. Again, and then the noise is just fans that are disappointed, and they should be disappointed. And we're disappointed, but we can't let that seep into our minds, because that's not going to help anything. All right, the only thing that you could do in life is when things get down, is roll up your sleeves and work and stay positive with yourself. Because if you seek positivity from any other people outside of it, you'll never get that, and you'll always stay down. All right, so it's all about the guys in this gym.
on that. You said that you know what you need to do, and you guys are close. Do you feel like the issues that you've been seeing, like you said, the turnovers and the live ball turnovers in particular, and the boxing out in maybe a key situation and not getting a rebound here or a loose ball there, do you think those issues are fixable? And if so, I guess, how do you go about fixing those things?
No, they are fixable. I mean, I think at the end of the day, there's things that we work on every day, and now it's my job to put the guys in that give you the best chance. But that gives you the best chance to do it. That's just the bottom line. That will do it consistently. That understands it, understand the importance. I always tell our team, the best teams, they don't think about and they don't analyze their mistakes while they're playing. All right, we do that after the game, and I think that's where we got to get to. I think one mistake leads into another mistake, and I think that's where we have to get past those. You make a mistake, you got to move on to the next play. Don't let that happen again, and that's all you can do. And I think we just have these little lapses of being casual, and it costs us every time. And we talk about it, we show it, and again, I think it was some good moments that we had, but I just thought it was a couple of lapses, some stuff that happened that that was a difference.
Coach, how do you keep the noise out for yourself and for the players? We get the calls every post game, and the fan base isn't used to this. How do you keep the noise out? And maybe if you have a message for the fans.
How I keep the noise out is at the end of the day, no one can write anything on whatever boards or social media. I'm harder on myself than anybody. And I think sometimes, again, I played here. I raised my family here. No one bleeds orange. I bleed orange just about anybody else that bleeds orange, all right? Again, so for me it's easy, and not easy, it's hard, to lose and not play up to where this team can play and me to get them to play there, right? For the guys, the players, those are the guys that I really, really worry about because that impacts them. And I don't think, even fans and you get on social media, understand if you're really a fan, right? Like posting and doing all that stuff, that's their lives. That's not helping them. That doesn't help them feel better. Actually, it doesn't, you want your team to play better, but then, you got a right to post your frustrations, but to attack them personally or say, things, that go way beyond, basketball, that doesn't help. And that's our job is to tell them to turn the news, turn that out. Again, you're not going to get anything when you're not playing well and not winning well. And even when you are winning, we tell them turn it off because the same people that praise you are the same people that talk negatively about you. So it has to be about us, and that's the message. It has to be about us, and obviously we want to play well for our community, and we know. The community is a passionate fan base, like all great programs, and no one should be happy right now. No one should be happy, and no one should be, again, happy. And we understand that. I understand that, and the players understand that. But the only way that you can get out of it, like I tell them, is you gotta stay positive and you gotta stay pushing. That's the only way you can do it.
All right, Coach, one last one. You started this with unforced turnovers. You got Florida State on the road, and we just learned they lead the conference in steals. Could you give us a little quick scouting report on Florida State?
It's just typical little Hamilton team. They fly around. They take every team out of their offense, so it's hard to run offense. You got to have great spacing. You got to have some ideas, some concepts, and but your guys, it's just going to be a game where you got to attack. Right, you're not going to be passing 5 or 6 passes because they're too long and they're athletic. They jump on the passing lane, so you have to be able to put pressure on the rim by the bounce. You got to make quick, short passes, and you got to be aggressive and make quick decisions. That's always been his teams, and take care of the basketball because if not, you're just going to give them extra possessions.
All right, Coach, we appreciate you coming on. Best of luck Saturday against Florida State, and we look forward to chatting with you again next week.
Thank you.
All right, Adrian Autry.